So you've probably seen the term liminal space recently. It's been trending on Instagram and you see it popping up everywhere. What's a liminal space? People don't know. People posting photos of empty roads saying, that's a liminal space, I guess. Nobody really knows. That's why today we're going to look at plenty of liminal spaces and decide, judge once and for all, what is liminal and what is not. I'm going to start off with a terribly painful example. And obviously all this is subjective. What liminal is really is subjective. Let's jump right into it. Make sure you're sitting down for this one. Here we go. Oh, Lord. So, it's nearly like this image just induces physical sensations in me. It's hard to describe. It makes my stomach all crumble up and it makes me kind of feel uncomfortable. Why are these stripes in the ceiling painted blue and remind me of like R2-D2 or something? I would not want to be in a space like this. But generally, like the definition of a liminal space is a transitional space, right? Like a space between other spaces that doesn't really have a clear purpose. So that's kind of the definition. But it's also a space that kind of evokes a feeling, right? For example, like a feeling of having been there before. You look at this picture, you're like, maybe as a child. I mean, it's weird. It does weird things to your head as you look at it. So it's not exactly easy to pinpoint it and say, oh, that's liminal, that's not. And some people may disagree. So on the subreddit Liminal Space on Reddit, you get all kinds of images and people discuss what is liminal and what is not liminal. So we're going to look at that a little bit. But also before we dive into this, I just want to highlight Edward Hopper. He's a quite famous painter who painted like the early 19th century. So nearly 100 years ago, a lot of his work was created. And he is kind of the godfather of liminal spaces. Look at images like this. Right, it ticks all the boxes. It feels weird. Why are there no windows? The person looks odd. It's all kind of strange. All of his paintings evoke like a strange sensation of eeriness. There's nothing really you can point your finger at, but it just feels, it's a bit of the Psycho House thing going on here, right? The Hitchcock movie. And he played with that in the early 1900s. Here's another example, right? It just feels strange and alien, but clean and tidy at the same time. It's weird. It's really... So Edward Hopper, for me at least, is one of the people that you have to mention if you talk about liminal spaces. But let's look at some images, okay? And like I said, it's completely subjective, right? Is this liminal? I don't know. This is probably in a video game. It does feel a bit liminal. If you would imagine being in this space, it would make me feel weird, right? All the blue and stuff. It just... Also, I don't know if this is a sensation that everybody has. Some people may don't even experience this, so... Oh, look at this. There's a whole gallery of them. Some of them nearly feel like a dream or something. It's like, oh yeah, I've dreamt this before. It's this eerie familiarity that some of these images have. And then obviously we see a lot of like derelict spaces and like empty malls and stuff like this. And to be honest, it's a bit much of that in my opinion. Not every single mall that's derelict is like liminal. I can see where they're going with it. But there are so many videos out there. I guess if there's so much content out there that it kind of becomes one big blur and there are just thousands of examples of malls that look like this, it just becomes less liminal. To me, it's probably more that one unique space that kind of looks like that, for example, that then makes it liminal. If every derelict mall looks like that, it kind of loses the impact, the liminal impact, so to say. The Baltimore Aquarium was empty and giving me all kinds of liminal vibes today. I do like this. You see, there are no people. Everything is really weirdly mathematical with these stripes and geometrical. It feels not real. Like, I don't even know if the sky is real or if this is some kind of painted backdrop for this aquarium. Probably it is. I genuinely don't know. So it has like this weird artificial touch to it as well. This is another great example. All these houses. I mean, is it real? Is it not real? It looks like a painting. Again, these super strong Edward Hopper vibes, but you look at the clouds and suddenly they look like meatballs. And it's like, no. This can't be real. But even the reflection in the window up here looks fairly real. It blurs like uncomfortable uncanniness with reality. And then you get images like this. People posting loads of pictures of pools with ramps going into pools and everything just being tiled in white with bluish water. I see where they're going with it. Those renders are nice. But I guess we see a bit too much of this. It's kind of been done at this point. First post in a while. Okay, I hope at least someone out there found it funny. You see, I wouldn't say this is liminal, like a broken couch in a desert. For me, that's not liminal. It's a cool photo and all, but it doesn't really feel liminal in the traditional sense. I do like this one though. Almost empty mall in Germany somewhere. That doesn't even look like Germany. It just feels like a space that you get lost in, and most of the shops are empty. And I don't know why there are these weird windows up here. The whole upper floor doesn't even really make sense if this is a shopping mall. Like, the whole thing raises questions as well. I guess that's also something that kind of supports liminal imagery. I keep getting stuck on this liminal imagery. And here we have like an example of where people are using a light to kind of emulate that eerie atmosphere. It even looks like there's a bit of smoke down here. I don't know if this was actually just done in Photoshop or whether the light was really there, but it's quite inspired by this guy called Briscoepark. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's actually a dude who travels around, I think, in a caravan or something, and takes awesome photos of stuff. And his imagery is also quite liminal, one could say, like stuff like this. And he uses people in his images, but he uses them in a way that they really support the eeriness. They support the strangeness in his work, like this one. So the picture with the mall, it's a bit of a shame that there are two people on the side. It ruins that a little bit because the people really have to support like the liminalness of the picture, if that makes sense. I mean, look at this kind of stuff. It kind of blends into horror to an extent, and liminal images in general kind of have been used in movies like Paranormal Activity, for example, because they always feel like something could happen any second, right? Any second something could move or come out, or some eyes could pop out of the dark, or just something strange could happen. So it lends itself very much to the horror genre and has been used many times. More tiles. I don't know if this is... It's a little bit liminal. It feels weird. Imagine you're somewhere in an Airbnb and the host is like, yes, I've prepared a bath for you. It's right here, right this way. And then he just shows you this bath and leaves the room, and it's just weird, man. It's just like then the bath becomes this weird, liminal, awkward, and kind of unsettling space, which is weird, right? I guess that's why liminal spaces are so fascinating, because how come a space can be in a way that it suddenly evokes this sensation in someone? How am I supposed to sleep tonight? Picture taken by me, very nice. Yeah, it is a bit eerie, isn't it? 1977, another one, like these early hotel rooms. Check this out. Is that not just strange? Like, you can't really put your finger on it, what is strange about it, except that it's old. It just feels alien, doesn't feel normal. Sachi Home and Living by Shiba Dead Mole Radio. That's probably a song. Should we listen to the song? Let's give it a go. Yeah. Oh, good lord. Yeah, I can see where they're going with this. It's like a trashy version of like a mall background music. And it all sounds distorted. And again, like you would just have a clown come out there and suddenly the whole scene is extremely creepy. There is this horror aspect to liminal spaces, which is very subtle, but it is definitely there. The store is now closing, right? People are leaving. Unused store spaces. I like that as well. That is nice. But it nearly is more like an art installation, like an exhibition or a gallery. Less liminal, still beautiful. The Mitten. Yes, it's like these kind of derelict play areas where you have actually the rails but no train on it. No single child is in the background in this cubicle soft play thing over here. That's just eerie. If you're there alone, imagine you're a security guy walking through there alone. Giant warehouse with different facilities and it's all just empty and derelict. It's creepy stuff, man. Oof, yeah, there's something about this picture makes me feel weird as well. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because the basketball court is too close to the water and the shadows are weird back here. You can't really see what's going on and everything is very geometrical. You don't want to be there, really. It all feels like neat and tidy, but it doesn't feel human. You know what I mean? It feels a bit unrelatable. You can't relate to it. It's weird. I'm trying to articulate it. I'm doing my best over here, all right? And so this is an example that's actually a little bit nicer when it comes to malls. A mall I went to today looked really empty and there's something off about it, but it's actually the screenshot clearly from a VHS from 1998 of, obviously at that time, an empty, maybe like a mall opening on opening day or something like that. And like, because everything again is so pristine and clean, and now we kind of know where malls went, so it has this apocalyptic touch to it, the narrative. So this adds like a liminal touch to these images, in my opinion. You look through them and it just feels into a window of a different time, like a very eerie window. Maybe I've just seen too many VHS found footage horror movies, I don't know. Yes, loads of empty food courts and empty mall spaces. People do take photos of them, but they do vary. It's not as easy to say most spaces are generally not liminal or whatever, but this, like this one, for example, is eerie, but it's also the graininess of the image. It's really hard to say, so I'm trying to scientifically analyze it here for you guys, bring you a bit closer to understanding what liminal spaces are. And I hope you learned something in this video and you have a bit of a clearer idea now, and maybe you had some fun as well. If you did, smash the like button. It's down there. Also, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do, hopefully, more videos in the near future if I find the time. It was great to have you around. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and take care. I'm going to try to make this a bit liminal now. Maybe I just need to stand in the back. Just kind of stand on the edge of the room or something.